This is WFYI News Now. It's September 11th, and I'm Abriana Herron. On today's show, Indianapolis schools have more classrooms than students. A new survey shows some childcare providers may close in the next year. And the latest version of an Interstate study shows possible ways to improve Indianapolis infrastructure.
Public feedback has been crucial to the success of this study. Learning how the interstates can be improved for better use, make them safer for those that use them each and every day.
Those stories coming up, but first. After AES requested permission to charge customers more for electricity, one state office is recommending the exact opposite. AES's proposal was simple: raise monthly prices to help pay for increased cost of materials, labor, and infrastructure. Some took issue with the privately owned utility, including an increase in how much it wanted to pay out to shareholders. After months of debate, public hearings, and written comments, the state's utility consumer advocate recommends that AES both lowers energy rates and shareholder returns. Olivia Riviera works for the Indiana Office of Consumer Counselor and says they've read thousands of pages and heard hours of testimony. She says some of it is heartbreaking.
Especially when it affects their day-to-day lives. That's very hard to hear about. And our office is very appreciative of all of the evidence that consumers submitted about how this would be a hardship to them.
This new higher rate proposed by AES comes just 14 months after the company filed for another rate increase and was granted it. Riviera says the Indiana Office of Consumer Counselor reviewed testimony showing that many customers are still struggling with the first increase.
Having an increase so soon after the last increase is very jarring for most people, and our office was very concerned about that.
AES must submit its rebuttal to this recommendation by October 7th. A further hearing in November will look into the evidence backing AES's claims that prices need to go up. A final decision is expected in spring 2026. Indianapolis schools have far more classroom seats than students to fill them. It's a sign of declining and shifting enrollment and possible changes ahead. Eric Weddle has more.
A new analysis from Chalkbeat, Indiana, finds Indianapolis public schools and local charter schools had about 9,000 more seats than students enrolled in the last school year. Nearly 7,000 of those empty seats were in district-run IPS schools. The gap comes as IPS faces financial challenges, and a mayor-led board considers whether closures, mergers, or collaboration can help sustain the city's school system. The Indianapolis Local Education Authority is tasked by state lawmakers to make those and other suggestions by the end of this year. I'm Eric Weddle.
For more on this story, go to WFYI.org. About 11% of Indiana's early childcare providers say they may close in the next year, according to a new survey. That would lead the state to lose thousands of daycare preschool spots. Dylan Pierce-McCoy reports instability is fueled by state and federal funding cuts.
Low-income working parents often rely on vouchers to help pay for daycare and preschool. But Indiana stopped giving new subsidies for children after federal pandemic aid ended last year. Now, a survey of daycares and preschools from Early Learning Indiana finds that a majority have lower enrollment after the cuts to state aid. Nearly 70% of preschools say they have fewer students than last year. Some providers are in danger of closing. About 20% of daycares and preschools say they've already closed at least one classroom. Childcare providers face other challenges. They're also struggling to find staff in a low-paying industry. I'm Dylan Pierce-McCoy.
The state child care subsidy wait list currently has 25,000 children. The state has not given any new vouchers since last December. And for our final story today, the latest version of an ongoing Interstate study includes information on possible ways to improve Indianapolis infrastructure. Jill Sheridan reports the public continues to be invited to add feedback.
The Propel Indy study is a long-range transportation planning project that aims to identify ideal interstate improvements. INDOT leads the study that uses federal funds to examine key sections of I-65 and I-70 in the heart of Indianapolis. INDOT's Strategic Communications Director Natalie Garrett says since the vision study began in 2023, the community has been invited along.
Public feedback has been crucial to the success of this study. Learning how the interstates can be improved for better use, make them safer for those that use them each and every day.
The study targets areas including bridge safety, mobility, and multimodal connectivity. The North Split is exempt from the study that will inform the next 20 years of construction inside the I-465 loop. I'm Jill Sheridan.
INDOT will host community conversations, and this comment period is open through October 5th. That's all for today's episode of WFYI News Now. Our podcast is produced by Zach Bundy with support from the news team at WFYI and public media journalists across the state. Our news director is Sarah Neal-Estes. Kendall Antron produced our music, and I'm your host, Abriana Herron. If you like today's episode, remember to subscribe and share, and follow WFYI on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube to check in on our newsroom throughout the day. Thanks for listening. We'll be back tomorrow.